See, who would call me at 10 a.m.? Nobody I know. Spam risk. Okay, but you got to answer it because otherwise it rings every phone in the whole place. Okay, let's see if it's working. I see myself there. I think I just reached back for the phone because otherwise it rings every phone in the whole place. Five,
Okay,
four, three, two,
let's
one.
see if it's working.
I'm John Miglosh from the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, let's get over to the fun stuff. Here we go. I'm going to show you a little Kohl's commercial because it's quick and I can do it. And so here we go.
Okay, so the prices at Kohl's right now, I mean,
Low
whoa,
prices.
you can't say no. We're talking
can't
denim
say
starting
no.
at $21.99.
Denim.
Throws and pillows for $11.99.
But they're
and up
not
to 40%
talking
off
brands.
college essentials. Did
They're
I
not
mention
talking
Kohl's Cash
anything
and
they
free
can
store
even
pickup?
get co-op advertising for. And that's it.
Okay, so the
Oops.
prices at Kohl's right now,
Now I
I
just
mean,
hit the replay
whoa,
button.
you can't say no.
I
We're
can't
talking
stop
denim
it.
starting at $21.99. Throws and pillows.
I don't know what it's doing. Half the time I don't know what's going on my computer screen, but we'll turn it off. That's how we do it. Okay, so let's get over to the real important stuff. The real important stuff is when it comes to luxury real estate, marketing matters. And the only reason I included this article was because it mentions mail. It says direct mail campaigns extend the impact outside the Dallas metro into California, Texas, and New York. I'm not sure if they're going after individual high income, high net worth individuals, or they're going after other real estate companies because their listing wouldn't go out that far. But whatever the reason, they use mail and they seem to be one of the leaders in the Dallas metro area. Okay, this was an interesting article. Very, very interesting article from Ann Greenberg. And it's about the data that retailers aren't using and what they're not doing with it. Imagine if brands and advertisers viewed their retail purchase data as a top media priority and wanted to access retail customer information for enhanced targeting. You know, and I've been saying this for years, like Kohl's. That's why I started with a Kohl's commercial. Kohl's, you know, they knew what we bought. We bought mostly women's stuff because I had 3 daughters and a wife. And my wife put it all on her Kohl's credit card. But we never received targeted mailings, not even as targeted as, like say, a Land's End catalog. We have a men's catalog, a women's catalog come to our place because we buy both. But they come in separate mailings. And, you know, I'm sure there are some people that don't buy both and only get one. So that's a kind of a crude targeting that mailers have been doing for probably a century. But I didn't see that from Kohl's. I don't have a lot of other retail examples except True Value Hardware sends me a coupon. I have one in my wallet right now for $5 off. They send it in the mail. I'm sure they email me, but I never see them. I get hundreds of emails a day. Anyway, so what did Amazon do? Amazon said, hey, let's let people buy ads, you know, paid search. Let's do what Google does. And in 2021, first quarter, they generated $7 billion in revenue. So they're on track for almost $30 billion in revenue just from advertising. Probably will do it. And other retailers in the UK, Asda, Co-op, Sainsbury's, Walmart, Kroger, and Target. I don't know about all of these in the UK, but I know Sainsbury's is only in the UK because I can't get their Earl Grey tea. And if anybody's in the UK right now, you could send me some and I would be eternally grateful as we come to the tea drinking portion of the year. So they're building out their own media offerings. What is this about? Well, obviously, COVID basically drove 3 years of growth in online shopping. So people are on websites, although I noticed that Target's online shopping declined. I don't know if it declined, but its growth declined. But it, you know, it's like, well, so what else is new? I went over to the Target the other day and to buy a golf hat, and the parking lot was full. So, you know, I tried buying a golf hat online. I bought one on Amazon. It was no good. Then I bought one at Target, and it was no good either. But it took a lot more time. Not a lot more time, because you could go in and you could find it. Although I had to get help, and the guy took me to the wrong place. He thought I wanted like a Titleist hat, but I didn't. Anyway, so the first promise of shopping behaviors is that you'll communicate with your customers in a one-to-one fashion online and build long-term relationships. That whole one-to-one relationship baloney. I don't have a relationship with Target. I never will, and they certainly won't with me. Okay? So if you believe that your custom imprinted, tailored to you offering that you get in your email is tailored to you, then you're smoking something, because it's not. They don't care about you. They care about selling stuff, and they got an extra of this, and so they put it in an email. I mean, how marketing people can talk this way, it astounds me. So, Ann, just cut this out of your article, and it's not a bad article. Okay, third-party cookies are going away. We get that in every article. So you can't have the full banana of user browsing activity all over the place. I use private browsing anyway. Reach the right consumers, again, at the right time. If you would just, the retailers I work with are the ones that take returns and do a good job of keeping the shelves stocked. Bed Bath & Beyond, good example. Retailers can leverage their rich customer insights. They don't even do it for themselves, but they could sell ads. Okay? Customers benefit with personalized shopping. Don't hold your breath on that. But brands at least get access to the customers that are buying their stuff. At a minimum, right? You think about grocery store ads in the last 50 years. At a minimum, the grocer would send their store flyer that appeared in the local paper back to Procter & Gamble, circle the ads, give them the price they paid, and Procter & Gamble would pay half or something like that. And but it wasn't targeted at all. Now, at least with enough work, you could you could put the Levi's ad on in the menswear section of your website. They don't even do that. I mean, it's so funny. Here's my advice to retailers. Whether you're a catalog or you're a retail brick and mortar, consider your website to be content, and consider that content to be saleable space with discretion. You don't want to cover up all your products. But there's room on the sides that people will ignore, but someone will pay you for. So consider that. Think about liquidating your website cost with ad support. And all you have to really promise is that you'll put their ad. You don't want to put the Levi's men's jeans ad in the women's lingerie section. You don't want to have no connection whatsoever. But you don't have to have a lot of connection. It doesn't have to be some AI-driven website. But what should you do now? Start keeping track. And it isn't about tracking. It's about creating variables. It's about having a decent database. Build a decent database that looks at your products from multiple directions, right? And if you don't understand that, get my book. It talks about how to have multi-dimensional product variables. It's very, very important, because your customers aren't thinking the way you are. They're thinking on December 15th, what would count as a gift? They're not thinking about whether it's made out of ceramic or plastic. They're not thinking about whether it has a Christmas theme or it'd be perfect for Father's Day. They're thinking about the person, and they're thinking about acceptable minimum, not getting too much trouble. Those kinds of perspectives you need to have on your products, even though you've categorized them by vendor or by material they're made out of or by price point or by something else the consumer isn't exactly thinking about. Okay? And then consider having a media offering. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, this you get the impression here that you've got a real-time target and you've got to figure out what that to be a one-to-one and personalized shopper experience and all that. No. I mean, think about Amazon. Amazon in the beginning, all they said was people who bought this book also bought. There was no promise that we've figured out who you are and what you'll buy next. There was no promise of real-time connection. Those categories, those other items stayed the same through time, but the consumer moved to other items, and so they got a different variety. And they might have been completely nonsensical. Amazon didn't care. All they were saying was people who bought this book also bought these books. And in general, it kind of worked. Okay? It can be very, very, very simple. So, sponsored products on key pages. All you say is, hey, when somebody clicks on menswear, casual menswear, we'll put your jeans on there. Would that be good? Would you give us 10 grand? Yeah, okay, we will. Then you got to have some way to sell it to them. And it's probably not your purchasing agents because they're not salespeople, they're buyers. Okay? But you got to get some salespeople to talk to somebody who has the money. Consider, right now, they're looking for ways to target their media with the demise of cookies. So this makes total sense. And I think it was an excellent article and a lot to think about, especially if you're a cataloger or you consider yourself an e-commerce site. Lastly, and this brings us to the end of our main marketing show, and I'm just going to talk about this article because I thought it was funny. But before I do, I want you to go over to wdma.org. You can ignore the rest of the show or just open a new tab. You don't have to watch me do this because it's kind of an idiotic article that I really like. So I put it up. I can do whatever I want. There's nobody here to tell me what to do. The style consultant hasn't even chimed in today. So, I saw it move. I thought maybe she did. Okay, so next week, Tuesday, 3 p.m., a week from today, go over to wdma.org, and in the upper corner, you'll see a link that says August Meetup, and we'll have a lot of fun. We've got some great people already registered who watch for these things. Now I got to send it out to the people who actually have been to these things, and then we'll send it out to the rest of you if we get around to it. Okay, but you go there and you register a little bit, and we'll make sure you get the Zoom link and all that stuff because we got legit Zoom. And I think we're going to also do a meetup in Wisconsin around the middle of September because we haven't done one in like 2 years at least. Okay, so now let's get over to the important news. Bring back cargo pants. And this is a hilarious article. And, this is in Condé Nast, but it doesn't say who wrote it. And I can find it out, but I was listening to a Wired article on a Wired podcast on Google Pixel, the new Google Pixel phone coming out, and in the middle of the article they talked about this cargo pants. In the middle of the podcast, they talked about this cargo pants article and how it's really catching on. And this guy says he's 33 years old, but when he was a teenager, he was wearing cargo pants, but didn't have really anything important to put in the pockets. So it was an idea who was ahead of its time. What if cargos are not an outdated relic, but rather a technology ahead of its time? And he goes on to talk about how we now we're on to skinny jeans. Not me. I'm one of those people that always had I don't have cargo pants. I have the carpenter jeans, full relaxed cut, whatever. Now I get the stretchy kind. It's just a little bit of flex. It's really great. But when you get in your mid 60s, you can do this stuff. And it's got a side pocket. And I started putting my phone in the side pocket. I actually had this one custom tailored. These pair of carpenter pants, custom altered to make the cargo pant pocket smaller so that my relatively small size smartphone didn't fall out. Now I got a new one. I got a new Pixel, and it fits in there just snug. And so it's like perfect. And so he says, okay, so what happened was he wore cargo shorts and pants 6 or 7 days a week, but had nothing important to put in them. So the pockets served no purpose. But now they were like fins on a 1950s car, purely for show. But now he's got snugly fitting jeans and an enormous smartphone bulging from his pocket. A bulky mini computer with me at all times that I can't comfortably carry. This is not sustainable. And the weird part was I went on a line trying to buy something more stylish than I have cargo pants, but the pants get caught on stuff because they stick out. It says everyone's walking around with a giant phone and nowhere to put it. The technology exists to solve this problem. We need to embrace it. You say, oh, but that's ugly. Cargos are ugly, you insist. But there's nothing either stylish or ugly, but fashion trends make it so. And that's not completely true, but there's a lot of truth in it, right? There's a lot of truth in it. You know, I remember the big bell bottoms and how we thought they were so cool, and now they look so stupid. And other fashion trends, you know, the pants around the down a long way to show off your boxers and stuff, but you can't walk. I never went that far into fashion. Okay, so I hate to say this, but you already look stupid. Imagine James Dean, who had tight jeans back in the early 60s, I suppose, late 50s, early 60s. But imagine if he had a Galaxy S10 bulging in his pocket. Its blocky outline faded permanently into the front of his jeans. Would that look great? No, he wouldn't have looked great. Guess what? Neither do you. So you already look stupid. Why don't you get some cargo pants? He says cargos never really went away. There were millions of people, mostly men, who simply don't care that they're out of fashion. To hell with what their wives think. I told you this is a great article. But let's get cargos fashionable again. And the funny part is, it says Gap had 3 styles. Now they have 5. What I found, and I knew this existed because when I went to Italy, I had some pants that had like hidden pockets and extra pockets and special pockets for your phone. And they weren't cargo pants. They looked basically like khaki pants, but with all these pockets hidden. And my golf shorts have those hidden pockets where the pocket is on the inside, oftentimes has a zipper on it, so your phone can't fall out. I've lost phones on the golf course, and we managed to find them. But I mean, they've dropped out of my pants onto the grass, and we drove away. So a side pocket is a serious issue with how it exactly closes. I had my zip-off pant shorts also modified with extra Velcro to keep that phone in there. Not simple. So what I've learned is, it says, cargos or something else should become the new jeans. And I vote for khakis with a more hidden pocket that probably zippers shut. And it might even be good to put it vertical instead of horizontal opening so that when you're seated, it won't fall out. Those work really well. And I have those on my left leg on my cargo zip-off pants. But there's no reason to keep stuffing these giant phones, AirPods, and EDC multi-tools into front pockets where they don't fit. And this is the best part. Does that mean you're going to see me walking down the streets of San Francisco with my iPhone tucked into a sleek side pocket? Absolutely not. I'm not a trendsetter. Remember what I said about hot, stylish people? I need you to make this happen, my hot, stylish reader. And so I took this as a personal challenge to make sure I'm wearing my side pocket pants. I also can tell you where to find them. You can actually search online for phone pocket pants, and you can find them. You can find trimmer, sleeker, more hidden thigh pockets for your phone. You won't find this information on any other marketing show. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.